Hello everyone and welcome. It's Chef Jason Morris, your Ace Hardware Grill expert. Thank you for joining us for today's edition of Ace This Recipe. We are doing some spring lamb, but even better than that, we are doing amazing, epic Colorado lamb today on our recipe. So we've got a lot of cool things for you. We're cooking on the Traeger Ironwood, but let's get started and just do a little walkthrough and talk about the ingredients we're gonna be cooking with today. We're gonna do lamb with roasted vegetables. So we've got some spring onions, some beautiful baby carrots. We're gonna use celery. We're gonna use the tops and the leaves. We've got some fingerling potatoes, some mini sweet peppers. We're gonna do some baby portobello mushrooms, and then we're gonna make a fun little gremolata sauce. So we're gonna take a little bit of flat leaf parsley or Italian parsley, a little bit of lemon. We're gonna do some garlic. We're gonna do a little bit of olive oil, and then to kick it up just a little bit, we're gonna use one little drop of orange blossom water. The star of our show today is this beautiful, amazing Colorado lamb, right? And there's a couple different ways you can buy lamb. We're doing a rack of lamb today, so you can either buy it kind of prepped, right, or somewhat French like we have here, or you can buy it with the entire cap on. And if you get the cap on, all you'll have to do is peel that cap off and get into it. What I look for is the size of that eye, right? I want to make sure I have a nice big eye on this loin on both sides, okay? And then what I'm going to do to get where I'm at is I'm going to go through there and I'm going to take and mark off that eye, end of the eye right there, and this right here. And now what I'm going to do is follow along, and I'm going to peel that little bit of the cap off. I'll hold my hands carefully. I'll follow the curve of the bone while I trim this off, because we want to get ready to French this rack. And what that means is we're going to expose the tips of those ribs and get this ready to be the star of our show. So now you're left with this. What I will do is make a slit on the bottom of each bone, right before the eye. And then I will take my knife and I will carefully follow that up along the bone, so now I can remove that little feather or that little piece of meat. So again, I make a cut right here with my blade against the bone. I watch my hands and I trim that little bit of lamb off there, so I get that, right? Now, I'll go through and get all these done, and I'll get all these trimmed. What I'm gonna do in the back as well is make another cut here to release some of that membrane, and now I'm gonna score this along the back side of the bone, because this will help this come off a lot easier. We're gonna use a little butcher's twine to facilitate pulling this off and getting these bones cleaned up and ready to go. Do you have to clean the bones? No, you don't. You absolutely don't have to clean this, clean the bones this clean. You could leave them like this and roast them as well. You'll get a nice little bit of color on there. For presentation's sake, I like to get these guys clean. So we're gonna show you both ways, and we'll let you pick what we're doing. So we'll go ahead and get these trimmed up and get them finished. When we come back, we're gonna show you a little butcher twine trick to get this all set and cleaned up and ready to go. All right, let's show you this fun little chef's trick. So first thing I do is I tie a little loop on one end, and then I'm gonna run this string around the bone and along that membrane, and then I will thread this guy through here, pull this nice and tight, very, very tight, and now just give it a tight pull and it will strip off all of that membrane for you. So again, relatively easy, right? But it allows you to have those bones come out very, very clean, giving you a much nicer presentation. If you have to trim a little bit off, you can always finish it up with your knife. So we'll go ahead and go through here and get these guys cleaned up a little bit. When we come back, we're gonna show you how we season these up. Okay, so we've got these racks all set and ready to go. We've got these guys about as trimmed as we like them. Now, as far as the fat on the top, I'm leaving a little bit of this on here, right? I wanna protect a little bit of this. This is a jewel piece of meat, so I don't wanna have it dry out or get too crusty from my roasting, smoking, all that. So now what I'm gonna do is we'll go ahead and put a little bit of oil on top of here, on top and bottom. We'll get that rubbed on there, and we're gonna do some on the back too. Again, it's important to season the back of this because you're gonna be eating the whole thing, right? So we wanna get flavor on both sides of this. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do one with our Game On rub. The nice thing about Game On rub is it's really good for, obviously for game, it's great on lamb as well. So we'll get a little bit of that back there. We'll go ahead and pat that on real quick. And again, you know, we always say put as much or as little as you would like. That is your own personal preference. We'll get that flipped over on this side, and we'll do the same on the front as well. And I'm gonna get that all set and ready to go. Now, I'm thinking, hey, we wanna do a little bit different flavor. So now we're gonna use a little bit of our prime rib rub-a-dub. Great for larger cuts, right? It's gonna do a really nice job getting some flavor on here. We're gonna have a lot more rosemary, a lot more garlic as well. We'll let that guy kind of do its thing and coat, and we'll flip over to the front and do the same thing on the front. So kind of two different profiles, but you pick which flavor works best for you or what flavor profile you like most. So now we're gonna let this guy sit. Our pellet of choice today is gonna be that Traeger Reserve pellet. And you know that oak, apple, and cherry do a nice job, and they're really gonna add a great flavor to this lamb. So I'm gonna go ahead and top off the pellet hopper here. We'll get that all set and ready to go. We'll close that, and now we're gonna preheat this to 180 degrees smoke. So we'll turn this on. We'll let that fire up just a minute. We're gonna go ahead and dial it to 180, push the enter button, hit ignite, and now we're set. We're gonna take this up to 180 for our smoke, and we're gonna add a little bit of smoke to this lamb before we jump into it and get ready to sear it off. Now it is time to get these guys on the rack. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and load these ribs, right, or these racks up on the top shelf. I wanna get it away from the heat as much as possible, right, and get it up higher where we have a chance to impart a little more smoke flavor in there, maybe add a little bit different temperature of grill. Then we'll take our probe and we're gonna put that probe into that center part right there, and then we're gonna go ahead and run the cable through here and plug it in, and now we're gonna be able to track these guys, which is important for us because guess what? We're doing a reverse sear on the lamb. So we're slowly gonna bring this lamb internal temperature up, probably about 95 to 100 degrees, and then we're gonna finish it off nice and hot and fast when we're cooking our vegetables. So really we're utilizing this grill to do a lot of cool things today. But once again, like we always say, we're gonna do our entire meal on this grill. So we'll go ahead and get this closed. We'll let these guys smoke and get that internal temperature right where we need it. When it comes to the roasted vegetable component of this dish, I went very basic and very flavorful, right? So we're gonna do some baby carrots with the top. We've got those washed, but not peeled. I love to leave the peels on the baby carrots. They get so much better and sugary and just delicious. We have some spring onions. Now, the quantity is going to depend really on how many people you're feeding. But so we started with carrots. We have spring onions, a little bit of celery with the tops, giving it again just another rich, beautiful vegetable flavor. We've got some pre-cooked fingerling potatoes, right? So these guys are already set to go, gonna cook off a little bit faster for us. I'm gonna add some baby portobello or cremini mushrooms, and then we're gonna add some of our sweet peppers as well. Now what I'm gonna do is I will go through and drizzle with just enough oil to coat the vegetables. I don't want so much that I'm gonna have oil running all over the place. And then we're gonna hit it with a little bit of our garden rub as well, just to add some flavor in there too. Now, we're gonna go ahead in this bowl, give it a good mix, get it coated, get that oil going through there. And again, I'm not going heavy on the vegetable or on the seasoning or the oil because I really want this to be beautiful and rustic and complement the lamb. I'm looking for these vegetables to be a side dish complement. Now, we're gonna go ahead and go into our grill mark basket, and the great thing about that basket, I'm gonna be able to now toss these vegetables and almost saute them while we roast it. So I'm gonna let the veggies sit for a little bit while we wait for that lamb to climb internal temperature. And as soon as the lamb is done, then it's time to really finish this dish off, where we get that 450 degree sear on the lamb, but we also use 450 degrees to cook these veggies off in our vegetable basket as well. So there you go. How's that for a beautiful veggie blend? Look at that, beautifully hovering right in that 180 mark. Our probe is 75 degrees. Let's take a look and see what the lamb looks like. Isn't that beautiful? Starting to get a little bit of color on the lamb. You could see that smoke just hanging out inside this ironwood doing its thing. And that's what we want. We're slowly bringing this temperature up, and we've already put the bottom rack down on the lower shelf to get prepared for that sear. All right, that internal temperature on the lamb just hit 95 degrees. So we're gonna go ahead and take this lamb off and let it rest, because now what we're gonna do is get this grill turned up to 450 so that we have a chance to start roasting off those vegetables. So I'm gonna pull these gorgeous racks of lamb off. I'm gonna let them sit in this pan here real quick while we get this grill now turned up to 450, because it's time to roast off the vegetables. And then as the veggies are almost done, we will go ahead and get the lamb put back on as well. Okay, we're heated up to 450 degrees. Now it is time to get these beautiful vegetables in here, and I'm gonna put them right on the bottom rack so that I've got enough room. I want them right over the heat to let these guys start off roasting. What I will do is, as they just start to get tender, maybe in the next 5 or 10 minutes, then it'll be time to add that lamb back in there so that we can finish the lamb and the vegetables together. And that's why I say bigger is better when it comes to the size of grill you get, because now I've got room for my sides and my main dish all on the same grill. So the veggies have been in now for about 5 to 7 minutes. And what I like to do is just kind of go through here and get these guys mixed up a bit, get them tossed up a bit so we really get that good hearty sear, right? Now that these are set to go, what we'll go ahead and do is add back our racks of lamb. So now, guess what? We are utilizing this grill to do everything at once. So I'm going to have it finish my vegetables and finish cooking my lamb. We're going to go ahead and cook this lamb to medium because, contrary to popular belief, not all people enjoy lamb medium rare. So we're going to go ahead and take this to 130 degrees. And as soon as this is done, then we're going to let it rest, carry over just a little bit, and we'll have some beautifully cooked medium Colorado lamb. We are about 10 degrees away from done, and let's take a quick look. That is beautiful. Look at that beautiful color we're getting on there. The vegetables look fantastic, but that lamb, oh man. We're going to shut this, give it a few more minutes, then we are going to get it plated and sliced and do our quality control test. Well, I don't know about you, but walking into the hardware store and smelling beautiful Colorado lamb on the Traeger Grill with the essence of roasted vegetables is quite possibly the best thing ever. So today's recipe is available for you down below. So right under the video, you'll see a little arrow. Click that arrow, that will expand that section. And we've got a link to today's recipe ready for you to click, print, and follow along right down below. And then while you're down there too, let us know what we can do to be more helpful. Leave us some comments. Tell us how you like this video and what else you would like to see on the next Ace This Recipe video. And then click on that notification bell, enter your email address in. Hey, tell everyone, tell your friends, scream it on the rooftops, let everybody know. Subscribe to the Ace Hardware YouTube channel. You'll be notified when this next Ace This Recipe video is live. It'll come into your email inbox, you'll get a notification, and you can hang out with us and do some more cooking as well. So I'm Chef Jason Morris, your Ace Hardware. Oh, hold on. Quality control. I almost forgot the most important part. The beauty of this, look at that. Beautiful Colorado lamb. Oh, man. That is perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'm Chef Jason Morris, your Ace Hardware Grill expert. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for cooking. Happy lamb.